Michelle here. I would choose hand mixing over machine mixing any day. However, I just learned that machine mixing is recommended for certain types of doughs that require full gluten development, such as bagels, pretzels, and enriched doughs. I've made videos in the past about pretzels, bagels, and milk breads. All hand mixing, probably underdeveloped gluten.
The stand mixer requires the right amount of dough capacity. Too much will cause the dough to climb up the hook and touch the hardwares. Too little will cause the hook to spin and graze parts of the dough and not mix at all. Hand mixing breads like sourdough involves long bulk fermentation time and with folds. This contributes to strong gluten development.
This weekend we're making milk bread, and the recipe is from Ken Forkish's book, Evolution in Bread. He has the recipe and measurements down to the T to make in the KitchenAid stand mixer. Let's get started.
Let's start with the roux. Combine 125 grams of water and 25 grams of bread flour in a pan. Stir and cook until the temperature reaches 150 degrees to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Set aside and let it cool for 10 minutes. It's ready when the temperature is cooler than 110 degrees Fahrenheit. What's great about this recipe is that you don't have to bring any ingredients to room temperature. Stand mixer produces heat and friction, so the dough needs to be balanced out with cold ingredients. In a stand mixer bowl, add 215 grams of cold milk. Sprinkle 8 grams or 2 3/4 teaspoon of instant yeast. Let it rest for 1 to 2 minutes. Add 400 grams of bread flour and the roux. Mix with a dough hook on the lowest setting until the flour is fully incorporated. Once in a while, scrape the bowl down. Then mix for an additional 3 minutes. Add 30 grams of sugar, 8 grams of salt. Mix on lowest speed for 5 minutes. Sugar absorbs water, so adding too much in the beginning can dehydrate the dough and disorganize the gluten structures. I think that's why Ken added the sugar and salt after some gluten development has formed in the dough. Add 60 grams of cold butter cubed. Mix on medium-low speed for 5 minutes until the butter is no longer visible. Average dough temperature should be roughly around 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Lightly flour your working surface and place the dough on it. Stretch and fold the dough a few times over itself. Place it back in the bowl or a container, cover, and let it rest for 2 hours at room temperature. Stages of gluten development. Low gluten development. The dough will feel coarse and weak with no elasticity. It will break easily when stretched. Medium gluten development. The dough will feel stronger and stretch more, but it will still tear easily. Full gluten development. The dough will feel smoother and stretch thin. It doesn't tear until the end range. Spray or oil a Pullman loaf pan. Flour your working surface and place the dough on it. Stretch the dough out. Fold one side over, then the other side. Make sure the side that is closest to you is about the same size as your loaf pan. Roll the dough like a jelly roll. I like to pinch the seams into the dough. Place it in the loaf pan. Put the lid on the loaf pan and let it rest for roughly 1.5 hours or until it rises a 1/4 inch below the lid. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake for 40 minutes with lid on. Since the KitchenAid mixer is so picky and finicky about the dough capacity, I think hand mixing can be still useful, especially if it's a small amount of dough or if we want a good arm workout. Besides, what did our ancestors do before the invention of mixers?
Cheers. Delicious. It'll be good with some egg salad, even dessert sandwiches like strawberries and whipped cream. That's it for me, guys. Until next weekend. Bye.